All right. Well, I've just purchased this kitchen in a box home bread maker. Never used a bread maker before, but we're gonna give it a go. This is gonna be a first. I already got it out because it was a struggle. I did it by myself, so you didn't need to see that. So here we go. Let's take a look at the machine. It's got a digital display. Looks like it's already set for medium. 750 grams, which is about 1.5 pounds from what I've read. I've read the instruction manual and I've watched videos. So the thing's not in it right now because I got it out. I took it out, cleaned it all up. You know, you got to wash it from the factory. You don't want to just be throwing some bread in there. So let's get to making the bread. Alright, here's the pan. It's been washed. Got the little dough spoony stir thingamajig in there. Now, I was not prepared, as always, so I did not buy bread maker yeast. So we're going to use just regular old active dry yeast. Now, I looked it up on the interwebs, and they said that that was okay. But what you got to do is you got to activate your yeast first. So that's what we're going to do. Let me get a little bit more light here. Now this is live action here. I'm not being all high, whatever you call it. There's no big budget on this. It's a little better. Nope, not much better. I got all my parts here. I got my little measuring spoon that comes with it. Got a cup. Got this doohickey thing here. So, first off, you want to have some 1 cup of warm water. It needs to be warm, not hot. You want this to be like a nice warm bath, not a sauna. We don't want to kill the yeast. Then we're going to put, according to the recipe I got offline, 1 pack of yeast, 2.5 ounces. And there's no indication of what that is on here. So, you know, like I said, we just flying with this. You know, I am not a professional. Will it work? I don't know. We're going with it. All right, now we need some sugar. I think I've got a little bit of sugar. That's another thing I didn't prepare. I am diabetic, so I don't normally use much sugar. You need a little bit of sugar. 2 tablespoons of sugar. Good Lord. 2 tablespoons. And I used to use this brown raw sugar instead of the bleach stuff, because found out you have like bone char. I don't want bones in my sugar, but I use stevia now. I don't use sugar for everyday stuff. I use stevia, but we're making bread now, so I guess I'm gonna have to buy some sugar. And I've got my vegetable oil. Now we gotta let this sit like 10 minutes. So I won't put you over there. So I got me some vegetable oil. And I did happen to get bread flour. White Lily. Because we're in the South. And it says yeast breads. It is enriched, but it is unbleached. So I'll do better next time. We'll see. But we're going to let this sit 10 minutes. And I'll be right back. Okay, so let's talk about the booklet here for the kitchen in the box bread maker. it has all the instructions. Now the recipe that I'm going to be using, I got from allrecipes.com, and we're going to be, there are a few recipes here in the back, but if you'll notice, they're using grams, milliliters. You need to have one of those fancy digital scales. I don't have that. So I went online and got me one that uses cups and all that stuff. That was for a bread maker. Now, in the recipe that I got on allrecipes.com, not affiliated, they said to use vegetable oil. But I noticed in this recipe here, we have no light. It says to use, for the 750 gram or 1.5 pound bread, which is the recipe I'm using, it says to use 2 tablespoons of softened butter. So I think I'm going to do that. But, you know, I'm not, we're just winging this, so we're going to see if this works or not. So, our bread making journey has hit its first snag. Our yeast that we put into the pot here, it didn't fizz. Didn't do nothing. It just lay in there. I don't know if that's because the yeast was old, but I had bought it at the same time I bought this, and look, it's all fizzy and floofy in there. I think the reason that it didn't work is because I used sink water in the first batch, warm sink water, and I live in the South, so our water's not drinkable. So, yeah, but I thought since it came out of the hot water heater that it might not be as contaminated, but apparently it is. So, all the chemicals in the sink water killed the yeast. So, we're going to have to use the backup. All right. Carry on. That was our first boo-boo. Now, we have our yeasty water. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our other ingredients. So we have, we've got the water and sugar in here, and the yeast. So next we've got to add our oil, flour, and salt. Well, I've decided I'm going to use butter. It says softened. I put some actual real butter, not margarine, into the microwave, and I consider that to be pretty softened. So we need 2 tablespoons. My scoopy scoop. The scoopy scoop that comes with it. We're going to scoopy scoop out 2 tablespoons. Ew. See, I'm already making a mess. That's the thing about making cooking with me. Well, heck, anything I do, I'm gonna make a mess. It's just gonna happen, and we're just gonna have to live with it. So now here comes the best part. I am going to scoop out the flour because that's what we got to use next. And we need some salt. A teaspoon of salt. Ugh. Salty salt. Salt. All right, people, here we go. We're going with it's time to get the bread flour out. This is going to be fun. We need 3 cups of bread flour. And I'm going to use the cuppy that I used for the butter, because, you know, What the heck? Why not, right? This is probably not going to work. And I'm going to make a big mess. Because I'm not prepared. But we're going for it. Whoops! Dropped it. We're already getting there. Scoop it. Flatten it. Get it in there. Don't pack it, though. Don't pack it. A 1. I know there's a better way to do this, but you know. This is real. This is the way we do it. A 2. And, you know, I don't want to get another bowl out, get another thingy out, and I don't have enough in it. Going back in. So, you know, I gotta do dishes. I ain't got time for that. I'll show you my dishwasher later, though. And a 3. So that's all of it. It's all the stuff's in there. Normally, when you do bread, like you have you make a little well here in these machines, and you put the yeast right there. But we've already activated the yeast, and of course, I made a mess. Because that's my middle name. Mess. Alrighty. Time to go over to the machine. Let's move my tea out of the way. Because we don't want my tea. Hot tea in there. Okay. We're on the bread machine. Now, we've got to put this in and turn it clockwise. Now, for those of you in the younger generation, clockwise means to the right. And lock it in. That don't come out. Now we've already got a paddle in here. And so it's in there. Close the lid. And we turn it on. Whoops. Now we want this to be on 1. I just hit the button and, you know, so we're going back around to 1. This got presets. 750 grams, which is 1.5 pounds. And I want a medium. See the medium right there? That's how dark you want the bread. It has light, medium, and dark. We want a medium. Toastiness on there. And that's basically it. We're just going to push the button. And in 3 hours, we'll have bread. But right now, I got to clean up the mess. And then I'm going to go and play some 2-point museum for a while. I got 3 hours. I can do something. See you back in 3 hours. Okay. So we're in the other room because, as you heard when I turned that on, it was a little loud, but it's stirring the flour. Well, it's supposed to be stirring the flour. But for those of you who have a bread machine, and you probably saw my second mistake. I didn't put the paddle in there, and it was just sitting. And I found the paddle when I went to clean up my mess. So I had to dump everything out and stick the paddle in, and now start it over. So in 3 hours, we will have bread, hopefully. So we're going to find out if these bread machines are idiot-proof, because okay, we're working with a big curve here. So right now it's stirring the flour, according to the booklet. And as I was looking at this, I saw this for the first use. It says the appliance may emit a little smoke and a characteristic smell when you turn it on for the first time. This is normal and will soon stop. Smoking and smelling from an electric appliance, to me, is not normal. But hey, we're rolling with it. So right now it's doing this stirry thing. You can probably still hear it, even though I'm in the other room. And then I think it's gonna like heat and rise and do all that mess. At some point during this process, it's gonna let out 10 beeps. And at that time, you can add extra ingredients like raisins, nuts, seeds, whatever you want to add. I'm not going to do that right now. I just want to see if I can get an edible loaf of bread. But like I said, I don't know if this is idiot proof or not, and you know what we're working with. So, yeah. I'll let you know. Alright, so this is an update. The bread was a fail. About halfway through the process, it got an E01 error message. And so that means it overheated. I had to open it up and cool it down. And tried to start it back up, and then it aired out again. So the bread, first try of making bread is it didn't work out. So I've got some more yeast, and we're gonna give it another try tomorrow. This is Inky. She's a big baby, and yeah. So bread making, take 2. Will be tomorrow. Have a good one.